in the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live.
Wanda, let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me.
You are now tuned into the Boxing Voice Radio. Join us every Thursday and Sunday live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
ThaBoxingVoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. Not a spontaneous one. Shout out to Trav FDY for bringing us this exclusive on-demand episode. What does on-demand mean? It means he headed on over to ThaBoxingVoice.com/on-demand and detailed and prepared a show in the manner in which he wanted it, customized and tailor-made for him. So what's on the agenda? He wants to know, since Canelo's out, clenbuterol scandal, tested positive, Cinco de Mayo just waiting in the wind. History repeats itself. Fighters dare to be great. People step in and become stars overnight. One gentleman took this opportunity that was presented to him and grabbed the bull by the horn, so to speak, a couple of years back. And we're talking none other than Kell Brook. Kell Brook. Eddie Hearn called him. He said, look, I'm not able to make this deal with Chris Eubank and Gennady Golovkin. There's $4 million on the table. It'll be a pay-per-view. What do you want to do? What did Kell Brook say? Sign me up, baby. Chocolate brownies. And he took it. And now Kell Brook is a household name. You know, at 54, we want to see him with the top of the division because of his heart, because of how he was able to do versus Gennady Golovkin. But Kell Brook was dethroned. Kell Brook was made to be mortal. And there's a new champion that the world is behind. Floyd Mayweather's behind him. The pound-for-pound lists are behind him. The hipsters are behind him. So Travis FDY says, well, if this guy is so great, if he's so good, there's videos about him weight bullying. He opens up his training camp at 177. Well, why doesn't he step up and dare to be great? Rosado stepped up. Rosado was 54, and he said, you know what? I want that Gennady money. I want to dare to be great. Kell Brook stepped up. Khan stepped up. Mayweather stepped up. The list goes on and on. I'm going to head on out to the Golden State, bring my co-hosts in here so we could definitely bounce this one back and forth. That is the synopsis of the show. If you are interested, you know what to do. Stick around and hit that number, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Nothing changed. Just that we are now live on our backup channel. Unfortunately, we can't call it TBV Live or something like that because, you know, YouTube and Google have this conglomerate and they make you, you know, use your name. So backup channels, Nestor Gibbs, similar to Skype. So if you want to add or be part of the conversation, subscribe to the YouTube channel, catch us on the chat, or add us on Skype and call in by adding Nestor Gibbs, NESTORGIBBS.
Gennady Golovkin production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout now. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
ThaBoxingVoice.com.
OMG. I am so excited.
Yeah, just like Tyson Fury, I am pretty excited by the possibility of this matchup. Shout out to Travis for this on-demand show. If you don't know what that is, go to ThaBoxingVoice.com/on-demand. Definitely check that out. And, of course, we're being simulcast right now to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're not on the other, go to the other, subscribe to that, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But, yeah, let's get this show on the roll. I mean, again, call in 1-425-569-5241 or add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. But should Errol Spence pull a Kell Brook? Should he come in a little bit late notice and face, the pseudo monster that is Triple G? And let's be honest, Errol Spence is sort of the Triple G of his division. So there's so many different narratives at play if that were to happen. And should he take this fight? Definitely can't wait to chop it up with you, Ness, and the callers. Let's go.
Yes. Interesting topic. Probably not one that I would have considered for a traditional spontaneous show, since we like to, stick to factual based, shows, rumors, headlines, official fight news. This falls along the fantasy, but it could be argued that it isn't fantasy. It could be argued that it is just a call to action from the Errol Spence fans or detractors, Matt. Because if you're a fan, are you really asking Errol Spence to move up 2 divisions like Kell Brook did and face Gennady Golovkin after we seen what Gennady was able to do to Kell Brook?
Well, you shouldn't be if you're a fan. Or I'll put it this way. If you're in Errol Spence's team, you're most likely not even mentioning this as a possibility because it doesn't seem like a smart idea. But to the idea of like it's a fantasy, it's not in reality, sometimes that's okay. Like sometimes it's okay to sit here and just argue or debate about fantasy matchups and should a guy do this even though we all know he won't. It's okay to argue that sometimes. That's the point of being a fan of the sport, is to live in those moments. Like even look at any other fandom in sporting culture. They have fantasy debates all the time. So I think there's a healthy aspect to it, and it's okay for it to be, once in a blue moon for us.
Well, what we need to do, I guess, is quickly run through the pros and cons and then really open it up to the phone lines. Remember to call in 1-425-569-5241. Add Nestor Gibbs on Skype so you can be part of this conversation, and give us your thoughts on whether or not Errol Spence should step in. And Matt, I think that the biggest case that I can make for Errol kind of doing this, daring to be great, so to speak, or going for the bag, is the bag. It has to be about money. Like, do we even know what Kell Brook was officially rumored to get? And really quick, I want to send some love and shout out to Potential Lunatic and Boxing Therapy, our 2 most recent subscribers to the YouTube Nestor Gibbs backup channel. And it's not Nestor Gibbs backup channel, it's just Nestor Gibbs. So yeah, Matt, I mean, any other reasons other than money, and how much money did Kell Brook get to kind of sacrifice his orbital bone? And
very quickly, if you're watching this on playback on the Boxing Voice YouTube channel, if you want to find this YouTube channel that we're talking about, to find the live show on YouTube in this 3-month period, it's in the featured channel section right to the right of the main page of the Boxing Voice on YouTube. You cannot miss it. Even has the Boxing Voice logo on it, so you definitely cannot miss it. But to the idea of, getting the bag, definitely would be a big paycheck for Errol Spence. That cannot be denied.
Though, how big? Because we got to think welterweight division, right? Like it used to be a lucrative division, but Mayweather is gone, and we don't know anyone that can get to those $30 million paydays, right? So technically speaking, the biggest welterweight payday for normal fighters is what, $2 million?
Yeah, maybe 2.5 on a big fight.
Exactly. So if you're Earl,
but this is a bigger fight. This is a bigger fight than Keith Thurman. This is a bigger fight than Terrence Crawford and Jeff Horn. It is.
It's a pay-per-view. None of those guys get you to pay-per-view. This gets you to pay-per-view.
I think
this is you stepping in Cinco de Mayo.
I think you would at least get borderline $4 million, at least, in my opinion.
I think 4 is short. Now I don't know if I'm mistaken here. And the 4 was Triple G's purse. But we got Potential Lunatic on the chat. Shout out once again saying $5 million purse for GGG. Just Google Kell Brook and GGG got $5 million each.
I don't think it was. I thought it was $6 million, then $4 million. I thought that was a split between the two.
I remember one getting 4, but I thought that was triple Jeezy. I mean, regardless, the point is this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you find me another welterweight fighter that would get Errol Spence $4 or $5 million?
No, not even close. And to the idea of, is this even a winnable fight, or, is this a smart fight to take? We can all agree that this version, Triple G, is a very different version than the one that Kell Brook fought. It's a vastly different version. The Triple G that fought Kell Brook did not have the year of Daniel Jacobs and Canelo yet. He didn't have that year yet. Then he did. And I think we all sort of changed our perception of what Triple G is at this current state of his career, where he's, 36, 37 years old. Maybe Errol Spence could, beat Triple G to the punch. Maybe he is durable enough to take the shots of Triple G, in a hypothetical fantasy fight. I could see people, the Spence fans especially, actually riding with theirs and thinking that their guy can beat Triple G. I can see the path of victory.
Well, I've seen him spar 175-pounders in the gym, brother, and handle them like there was nothing. Like it was no issues whatsoever. Again, he's going to say, I want to unify at 47. He's always said that. No reason for him to move up. But again, I ask you now this, since there are no welterweights that you could come up with that give Errol Spence a $4 to $5 million payday, pay-per-view, Cinco de Mayo versus a name as big as Golovkin.
Let alone any welterweights that are just available right now. They're all tied up.
Oh, so you do think there are welterweights that could get him to that purse?
No. I'm saying if you can just put that to the side for a second.
No. I mean, hypothetically, forget schedule.
No, not pay-per-view and Cinco de Mayo, but I could see him getting $4 million total. Maybe not guaranteed, but total with the Keith Thurman unification. Absolutely.
Well, what do you mean by total? There's no pay-per-view back end.
But we know there is a back end of some sort.
Oh, yeah, but that's an off the book one. I wanna on the book $4 million, $5 million.
On the book, he'll get $3 million. That's a $3 million.
And again, so you can't find a welterweight that can get him 4 to 5. No problem. My next question becomes, can you get a 154-pounder that will get him 4 to 5 million?
No, I mean, look at this unification we have right now against Jared Hurd and Zolani Laura. Laura's getting $1 million, and I think Hurd's getting like 500,000. So they're both not getting record paydays for unification.
The way that you say that, not only did you animate your voice, but your eyes popped out googly-eyed, right? But there was once upon a time, maybe 5 years ago, where the boxing media criticized Al Heyman, and they would say things like, he's overpaying these fighters. But what he did was he put steak on the hook as bait. Instead of fucking shitty ass worms that all the other promoters were using, he hung some steak on there, and he was fishing with that. He got all the fighters in, and now he set a new medium, and there's a new, mandatory minimum, because gone are those days. Look, this is a unification. You tell me Islandri Laura's only getting $1 million, where guys like Broner don't even fight for a title and get $1 million? Like, bro, he's really set back the dial on the amount of money. And if you want $1 million, you have to fight. And that's great. I say all that to say that it's great, but I also...
Well, I wouldn't even say it's just the economics of a fight. I mean, we can all agree that even though Laura got the big Canelo fight, that was not a good pay-per-view buy rate. And it's not like Laura's a name like Broner. I mean, with a title or without a title, how many people you get in the seats, how many people you get watching you live on TV always means more than anything else. It just does.
But I thought Laura did good ratings.
I wouldn't say that.
I want to say he's in the high 600s.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, check. I mean,
I can check really fast. I can check really fast.
Find one or two things. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit us with a like it's no different than watching us on YouTube. Those thumbs up, those likes, they help with the visibility of the show. And after suffering this horrendous setback, we are definitely losing our live audience. So this will help us get back out in front of those many people that are desperately looking for their safe haven. We still are here. So if you're watching this on a playback on YouTube, don't forget to come and like the Facebook page so you get those notifications, or subscribe to the backup sister channels that are on the featured page: Nestor Gibbs, Mixed Combat Media, Doomsday Chronicles, and Boxing Fan Apparel. Listen, I think we need to take some calls on this. Donald Rich.
Whoa. Because you knew I was actually going to do some research on this. What are you doing?
It's okay. It's okay. Go for it, buddy.
Come on. But Laura's last fight, what was his last fight? Terrell Gashau, right? Or Gashau?
Yeah.
That was the last fight. That did a very low 399,000 viewers.
What time of day was that?
Prime time, baby. Come on.
Prime time. We got a Patreon check-in. Lawrence says, hell yeah, give our American star that shine and that bag. You see what I'm saying? Because it's true. This is an opportunity.
Very quickly, Ness, just to put in perspective, this is crazy. The co-main event to that fight was Jamel Charlo versus Erickson Lubin, right? Do you want to know what the viewership was for that fight specifically?
I bet you it was about a lot higher. That was a hot fight. We were on that. What was the viewers?
495,000. So almost 100,000 more viewers for a fight that's below the main event. So think about this.
Wait, what was it again? Say the number.
495,000.
Oh, so they had 100 more. So 100 people dropped off once they seen her.
100,000.
Once they seen Laura. But look, it was Laura Gachet though. Come on, Gachet has no buzz. No buzz. And I'm not being disrespectful in saying that he was the lowest fruit on that 2012 Olympian crop.
True, but again, if you are a star, if you draw in that paycheck, you're going to draw in the viewers. Obviously, he's a detriment to Showtime viewership when people leave before his fight.
Now, Matt, if you're Tom Laufer and Abel Sanchez, is this another Little League Kell Brook lob, a la lob? I mean, do you look at this and say, yo, this is an Olympian. He did $6 million on, his fight on NBC. He beat Kell Brook, who we beat, who the world accepted. He has a belt. Floyd Mayweather christened him. All the promoters want to sign him. I mean, the world talks about him. Is this the right fight for both men? I mean, can Triple G find a better opponent? Not, I guess Zuldo might, but see, I'm going to be honest. Zuldo does not have the fucking popularity of Errol Spence. What is he going to have? He's going to have the Mexican fan base that is needed for Cinco de Mayo, but he is not more popular than Earl. That is impossible.
No, I think the overall gate and the viewership would be down between those two fights and those two matchups. I think Zurdo is only there to check off the ethnicity box for Cinco de Mayo. That's the only reason. Same with Munguia. That's the same reason what they thought he was a great idea was, he's Mexican. It's Cinco de Mayo. Well, Tom, my buddy Tom, stop. Don't do that. Put in good fights. Good fights will sell. Okay, regardless of the market, regardless of the time, good fights and good boxers sell fights. Promote good fights, and that will be enough in and of itself. Don't give us a Sullivan. Don't give us that shit. We don't need a Spence. And I'll be honest, I don't think Triple G would take the fight. I think Triple G would be smart in saying, I'm not going to take that guy.
Well, they've already said that they've been on record saying they don't want southpaws. But it's a pay-per-view. It's Cinco de Mayo. He stepped in. He's an Olympian. De La Hoya wanted to sign him. Mayweather's behind him. What's the numbers looking like? Because we've seen,
right? This is pay-per-view.
Yeah, but before you answer, keep this in mind. We've seen other quote-unquote hardcore fan fights that we won or that are good fights, and they don't do good numbers. Jacobs, Golovkin, both Ward, Kovalev fights. We're talking under 200,000 buys. How does Earl break that bubble?
I mean, my prediction would be around that. It would be like 180 to 200,000 pay-per-view buys.
Really? That low?
But you have to think about it. At that point, if you're doing that numbers, you're probably, with the pay-per-view buy rates, paying for all the fighters' purses. You're doing that. And then you're making money with the gate. You're making money with the concessions. You're making money with the T-shirt sales. You're making money in that back end. But you're probably paying everyone's purse with that pay-per-view buy rate, in my opinion. The problem with this fight is that I think if it had maybe a 7-figure marketing campaign behind it, it would do over 200,000 pay-per-view buys. I would actually predict somewhere around 350,000 pay-per-view buys. But I don't think it has that. I don't think it has $1 million marketing campaign behind it. I don't.
Now I see people in the chat. They're like, "Oh, leave my boy Errol alone. He's got to fight in June. Yada yada yada." No problem. But if you're Errol, do you do a Lamont Peterson?
What do you mean, do a Lamont Peterson?
Do you at least have your team contact Tom?
Why not? Why not?
See if you can get that fight. And B, if you can get that fight, what I mean by doing a Lamont Peterson is simply vacating the title that you have for a better opportunity.
I don't think he would have to vacate his title. I
mean, brother, you're going up. I mean, I know he doesn't because the IBF let Kell Brook do it, but I mean, you're going up to get 4 titles. And right now, bro, Triple G isn't the Triple G from before Jacob's fight. No one considers him that guy. Any longer.
Agreed, but again, I don't think he would have to vacate his belt before the fight. Maybe afterwards, but not before.
Who would you pick? Let's be honest here. It sounds like you would already be picking my boy Earl, the Pearl.
I mean, timing's such a big thing. I mean, it's the same reason why I picked Wilder over Ortiz. Same reason I'm picking Hurd against Laura. Momentum and timing of matchups plays such a huge factor in fights that we cannot dictate. We can't dictate it. We can't give a number behind that equation, but it is a factor, and it is a major factor in my opinion. I think this is a passing of the torch if it would happen. I thought Canelo was going to beat Triple G, and I've been on record here saying that I think Billy Joe Saunders beats him. I think Jamal Charlo beats him. I think Daniel Jacobs beats him in a rematch. I think Triple G has passed his prime at this point. I think Triple G is at a crossroads in his career. And there's a lot of young guys that are durable with knockout power, undefeated resumes, and great boxing technique that can beat him. And Errol Spence may be one of them. So if I have to pick on a fantasy matchup, yeah, I'll pick Spence.
Well, it's that time, brother. Let's open up these phone lines.
Oh,
this
wait,
show...
hold on. Wait. You ain't going to pick yourself? You're going to make me pick the fantasy matchup?
I mean, I picked Canelo and Jacobs over Golovkin, so he would have to continue to prove me wrong. I mean, I know people ain't going to like that, but Earl is a big 147-pounder. I mean, he told me personally starts camp at 177. That's big,
Agreed.
Yeah, so, and look, I'm not even doing this just because it's an on-demand show. I think that Trav FDY hit it on the nail. Spence fan, Spence detractor. This is a good move. This is at least a phone call and see can you get it. It did wonders for Kell Brook, but it did shave years off his career. So, to all the listeners and future listeners, present, past, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button here on the YouTube channel. Come subscribe to the backup channel, Nestor Gibbs, but also leave us your comments if you don't get to call in live. Let us know, is it a good thing? Would it be a good thing for Earl? Because, again, I can't see anything else or any quicker route at A, financial freedom, and B, superstardom. I mean, what other welterweight or junior middleweight gives him a pay-per-view? I'll leave that to the listeners. Once again, shout out to Trav FDY. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up his YouTube and give him a shout out on his YouTube as well. It might be the same, but we're gonna go out to our new ringer, Cuban Alex.
Ooh.
Yo, what up, man?
What's up, brother? What's up?
Yo, I heard they gave you a new nickname, bro. You're no longer the Dominican Nightmare. They call you the Dominican Care Bear around here.
You're so like You're so creative. You should get creative with your videos and try sticking to the topic.
I'm sharing one right now. I'm actually sharing one right now on Instagram. You should go check it out. Don't worry about it, bro.
You ain't nothing.
Errol Spence should fight that guy, bro. I think you could beat him, bro. That guy sucks, bro. That guy's done. He's pussied out. He's scared of Canelo. It's come on, man. Danny Garcia fought that guy on Clenbuterol. Just do it, man. It's not it's just fucking do it, bro. It's not me getting in there.
Well, I mean, it isn't Gennady. Remember, it was Canelo that decided to pull out, brother.
Yeah, but Gennady was talking all that shit. I'm pretty sure if he hadn't opened his mouth, the Nevada State Athletic Commission would have ignored the subject too. That's what I think. Not only that, bro. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. I was calling in for a reason, and now I just completely forgot.
Well, my friend, you could always come back. You know, let me know there on Skype. It's all good.
Okay, I'll let you know later, bro. I'm actually hitting a joint right now. So
that's what it is. I was about to say, is that good old Canadian BBC.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
All good, all good, man. I'm just happy that we could bring together boxing fans and potheads alike. We might have to do an overtime show called Boxing and Bud or some shit. Bud and Boxing.
Ooh, Bud and Boxing.
Ooh. Yo, one day we're going to open a Bud and Breakfast.
Don't mention anything else. We don't want any of the other clout chasers, you know, stealing our shit.
Yeah, no, because they already stole Camp Life.
Fuckers.
Donald, Richmond, California.
Nes.
What up?
Oh, man, I like this. This sounds like a great fight. To be honest with you, like you said, the age where Gennady Golovkin is at, the wear and tear that he's had in the last couple of fights. Let's be honest here. Errol Spence is a very big 147-pounder. And for him to fight at 160 against Golovkin, that wouldn't be so much stress on him to have to cut weight. He'd probably only have to go down 15 pounds instead of going down like 35, 40 pounds. And as far as what we see from Errol Spence, he's very strong for 147, and I think he'd be very strong at 154. I think that it's very possible that if he was to take this fight, he can go in there and beat Golovkin at this stage in his career. And as much as I like Golovkin, as much as I wanted him to fight Canelo again and beat him, and even though I felt like he won that match that was a draw, I think that Golovkin should take that as a blessing that Canelo had pulled out of the fight. Because realistically, I'm looking at this situation like they were about to rob him for them belts, you know. And I don't think Golovkin and Abel sees that. Like, they were about to fucking rob you for your belts. He's juicing up, you know. The draw was a bullshit. That wide scorecard was a bullshit. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo, they are fucking conniving. They're paying the judges off. He's fucking cheating. And, you know, he thought that they wasn't going to do anything to him because he's the redhead Canelo. But I think he kind of knew that it wasn't going to go his way. So instead of him getting a suspension and losing the fight that way, Canelo, with him being so arrogant, he said to himself, no, I'm going to make the choice for the fight to not happen. Not them suspending me, saying it's not going to happen, and that's why he pulled out. But, man, for him to fight Errol Spence, Triple G, and Spence, I would say I would give it a 55-45 and a 55% that, you know, Errol Spence could beat him. If Triple G can't hurt Errol Spence and Spence could take them shots and he can't knock him out and get him out of there, he wouldn't win that fight.
Now, Donald, can you answer any of the questions I have for Matt? Can you figure out any welterweights or junior middleweights that give Errol Spence a $4 to $5 million payday or at least a pay-per-view?
No, there is nobody. And even though Keith Thurman's got 2 belts, let's be honest here, even the Errol Spence and Keith Thurman fight would not be a pay-per-view. And if it was a pay-per-view, it would not be a successful pay-per-view. As much as we all want to see that fight, it would not be a successful pay-per-view. And I don't see anyone at 154 that can give him that payday as well either. So definitely, no, there is nobody.
So wait a minute. You think, so you're saying right now that you feel Thurman Errol Spence does lower numbers than than Gennady Golovkin versus Errol Spence?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that would Keith Thurman and Errol Spence even be a pay-per-view? And if it is to become a pay-per-view, if it is ever made, will it be that successful? Because as much as people want to see it, how many are actually going to buy the pay-per-view? We know everybody wants to see it, but will it be a successful pay-per-view? We always have these fights that everybody wants to see, and then when the shit gets put up in a pay-per-view, it doesn't do that good in numbers, although we know that's something that fans wanted to see. You get what I'm saying?
I got you. Donald, thank you for calling in and participating on the show. What's up, Matt? Very quickly. Digressing.
Hyperbolic. I will go on the record and say that a Triple G Errol Spence pay-per-view does more pay-per-view buys than a Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence pay-per-view. I feel like that should be kind of obvious.
Come again?
I feel like Triple G versus Errol Spence does more pay-per-view buys than Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence on pay-per-view, and that should be pretty obvious.
Keith Thurman, Errol Spence does more buys?
No, does less buys than Triple G versus Spence.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was just trying to get this kid to see if he felt that same way as well. Let's keep these phone lines moving. We got Ed Brown on Skype. Talk to me, Ed.
Yeah. You guys are right. With that. But didn't Spence make $3.5 million in the last fight against what's his name? Did he make $3.5 million
against Lamont? I mean, I've heard some rumors about that, but that shit seems super hard to believe because there's also like video of him saying he made $1 million for that. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. But, at some point in time, maybe money shouldn't be all important. And the thing about it is for us to even talk about is kind of silly. Triple G got more than enough options at his own weight to be fighting. He already beat up a welterweight. So maybe he needs to be looking around in that circle. And Spence, he still got business at 147. I know everybody's ducking him and whatever, but I don't know. It's cool to make $4 million, but if you can make that same money in 2 fights, I don't see where it's worth it. So,
but do you? So no. Don't go nowhere. Do not go anywhere. So, do you think he can beat him? He being Earl, can he beat Gennady? This version of Gennady. This Gennady.
If it wasn't for maybe, I don't know, maybe 45% chance, because Gennady still is bigger than him. So the biggest thing with Gennady is punch resistance. So Errol, man, I don't know. I've never seen Gennady get tested to the body. So I just, Errol Spence could beat him. Let me just go ahead. Yeah, Errol Spence probably could beat him. But at what cost? That type of punishment, you never know. With a guy that big, let's say he does pop him the right way, he hurts Spence, or he does some kind of damage to his body that he doesn't recover from, just from the guy being bigger than him. I mean, would it be really worth it then? And then say, oh, yeah, he won, but then he got some kind of permanent damage, or he took some wear and tear, or he normally wouldn't took from 147
pounds. No. You tell me. See, Mayweather, in one of our intros, Mayweather says everybody want to be Mayweather, but they don't want to put in that Mayweather work. Mayweather had to step up himself. He had to fight in bigger gloves. He had to move up in weight. He had to jump in rings. He had to, he had to do his own version of Clubber Lane. People they fail to forget that he wasn't chasing De La Hoya around the scene. You know what I'm saying? Now, that being said, he had to do that to be a superstar, to get superstar paychecks, and to do superstar viewership. If Earl doesn't take this opportunity, not that it is one, it's not like Tom Lawfer and Triple G are offering it, but if he can make this one, isn't this the smartest career move?
Yeah, you actually make a good point there, man. I can see where that's coming. But the thing about Errol Spence is, I don't know what he wants out of boxing. Like Floyd, you can clearly see what he wanted. Whereas Errol, I don't know if he even cares about that type of stuff. I wonder if he's more worried about dominating and then moving up in financial gain. I don't know.
No, Ed, I think that you're right about that. I've spoken to him, and he is a legacy type of guy. He's about belts. He wants all the belts. And I'm sure that if this question came across him, he would simply say, I have business to handle at 147. You know what I'm saying? But again, I can make a serious argument to Earl that this is the move that needs to be made.
Especially for legacy.
Capitalize on this opportunity because I just don't see any other. This is a trampoline that someone just slid in the middle of his career, Matt.
What does more for his legacy? Moving up 2 weight divisions and beating Triple G for every middleweight belt except for one, or fighting Keith Thurman for another couple welterweight belts?
Matthew.
You're serious? You're serious?
I mean, are you asking me or them?
That was very rhetorical. It was a rhetorical question because it should be obvious. It should be very obvious.
Because it is.
This is stupid.
I mean, let's be honest. This is a lob ball, okay? I don't care what anyone says. Is Triple G dangerous? Yes. Yes. But we have numerous game plans now. We have numerous footage now. We can come. Derek James is excellent at what he does. Let me tell you something. I might try to fucking call Derek. I'm going to be disrespectful and try and call him right now and see if he's available when we get to some other callers.
Well, remember, Ness, we do have to hurry up in the show because it is an on-demand show and it is only paid for a certain time, though. And we do have a live fight chat to get to for Jared Hurd versus Ezelon De Laura. Also,
look at Matt being the hater of bad news.
I have to be a producer. I'm sorry, guys. Also, Errol Spence was paid $1.2 million guaranteed, according to Forbes.com, for the Lamont Peterson fight.
Shout out to Mystic DW and Adrenaline Chrome.
Great names.
And Law from Ground Zero. All new subscribers of the backup channel, Nestor Gibbs, which we are live streaming, and we will be live streaming until YouTube becomes our friend again. So we're going to get out to another alumni caller from not Los Angeles, but California, IA.
Thank God that niggas seen another day.
Ali and Dago, what's going on?
What's good, Boxing Voice? What's up, Ness and Matt? For me, man, I don't think this would be smart for Earl to take, only because if they're trying to make the fight on May 5th, I think that's asking for too much for Earl to move up to 160 pounds, a weight class he's never been, in less than a month. Like, now, if they schedule this like 3 months from now, then I'm okay with it. But right now, I don't think Earl should rush, because if he does, there's a good chance he can lose, especially not being too fond with that weight in this short amount of time. So that's just my opinion. But also, I want y'all to get me down for Jared Hurd, because I didn't get to call in yesterday, and I got Jared Hurd beating Lloyd, and that's my call.
Call into the live fight chat. This is an on-demand show. Stick on topic, ladies and gentlemen.
Go on.
Be courteous to your fellow, TBV listener, who's working his blue-collar job and decided that he would love your opinion, Ali, and everyone else that calls in on this particular topic. And for those listening in the future, present, and past, know that this isn't TBV calling for Errol Spence to fight Gennady Golovkin. This is a TBV listener wanting to put it out to the world. He knows this is the voice of the people, and he is simply voicing his opinion, and we are nothing more than the vessel.
Which all of you can do. All of you out there can have us do a show specifically of a topic that you want to do. Go to ThaBoxingVoice.com/on-demand and find out how you can do that.
Exactly. That simple. That being said, Matt, I guess final thoughts. We got to wrap it up. We're going over just a bit. So let me know your final thoughts on, should Errol Spence face Gennady Golovkin since Canelo dropped out?
Yeah, I mean, because he's in the Kell Brook, situation where it's a win-win situation. Even if he loses, he's a guy that went up 2 weight divisions on a month notice and fought the guy in the division. Even if you lose, you're not a loser in that matchup. You get paid, and you went for glory. That was the one thing that we could always put our hats on for Kell Brook and guys like Amir Khan, is that We can't give them shit because they are the ones trying to go after glory. If you want to give Triple G shit or Canelo shit for those matchups, go for it. But the guys that win up weight divisions, challenge those guys, nothing but props, nothing but respect, because that is some ballsy shit to do. Should Errol Spence do it? Should he move up 2 weight divisions on a month's notice and face Triple G? Why the fuck not? Because like my man Tyson said,
OMG, I am so excited.
I mean, that would make me hype. That would do something on that day that I think other conventional matchups will not do on pay-per-view. Yes, Nestor, interrupting my outro.
I did, and I said, Matt, to get your attention. But a couple of things that we didn't even think about.
Ooh. Like what?
GGG didn't put the offer. Eddie Hearn and Kell Brook did. So it's not up to Triple G to offer Errol Spence $4 or $5 million. It would be up to Errol Spence and Al Heyman to see an opportunity and want to capitalize and offer Triple G the money.
That's not necessarily true, because
that would be the scenario. That would be the scenario.
No, because even though Kell Brook got the B-side payment or split, he was the A-side promoter and market. That's why the fight was over there,
so
right?
It would be exactly. So it would be up to Errol Spence and Al Heyman to offer Triple G something.
Who has the A-side market for Vegas right now? It's probably K2 and Tom.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, I guess you're gonna do it over there because of Mexican style.
Yes, I think. I think it's gonna be closer to 50% than what a lot of people think. But yeah, again, digressing because you got me so off topic. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, MattHunterTBV on Instagram, of course, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. My MMA podcast, and of course, Patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice for hours and hours and hours of extra content and help support your favorite channel. Also, if you want to hit me up on email for any business inquiries or anything like that, I got an official TBV email now, MattHunterTBV@gmail.com. So if you want to be a new correspondent in the West Coast or Vegas, hit me up. We can see what we can do. Peace.
Yes, and I'm your host, NesGTO. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NesGTO. Don't forget Skype and YouTube, Nestor Gibbs. Both Skype and YouTube, Nestor Gibbs. Don't forget, also at The Boxing Voice, all forms of social media. We've just reached 71,000 on our flagship channel. So, you know, let's get this one there. Can you believe it? I mean, we're going to have to because 100K before May probably went away. So, yeah, that being said.
We can just do it like Showtime and just combine the metrics, you know, just combine.
Yeah, we'll just talk about both of them. You're like, yo, we're pulling in this reach from here and there and a little bit of everywhere. That being said, catch us later for a live fight chat, possibly. I don't know. Maybe are they doing a triple header? Is it going to be Julian Williams on the undercard like right away, or we get that, or is that like?
I would assume so.
Yo, shout out to Mayweather Promotions trying to show undercards. They started at 7 p.m. Eastern, but it's like one camera, one view, and it really feels like it was a cell phone set up on a tripod left on like the 20th floor, just looking down at the ring. But I guess something is something, right? Peace.
What is up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/TheBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.
No other sight in the game could see the boxing voice.